Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, and today I want to talk about Pixel Heart. Now, Pixel Heart Games, talked about them throughout the years, but they are a company that does indie type titles, more so arcade type games. But they are also known for bringing back old IPs that kind of like, I guess you could say, lost in time. And you'll see some of these games revived in this video. But anyways, guys, I'm excited to talk about these games. Let's get right into it. Here's Beyond the Ice Palace Part 2. Now, the original game, I remember it briefly on the Commodore 64. And, you know, I guess it was a pretty good game for a lot of people, but I never really got into it. But this one really got my attention because of the pixel art, the animations. It looks like a smooth gameplay experience. And the chain that you have in this game is one of the things that are kind of like, it's not what I want to say a gimmick, but you'll open chests with it, you know, swing along with it, things like that. So definitely something I think that's going to be really cool for a lot of people to try out. And I don't think a lot of people know about this one as of yet. It just came out, and I want to give a shout out to my buddy Sean for putting this one on my radar. Looking forward to playing this game, leveling up, and having a good time. But make sure all you old school players like myself, you know, when it comes to retro games, just try this one out. You don't need to play the first one. But if you have a chance, I guess you could. But this one, I would say, would pull more people in. Keep your eye out for it. Here's Pocket Bravery. So this is a 2D fighting game that I've been keeping track of for a while now. I actually pre-ordered it on Amazon, but my orders would eventually get canceled because the game had a delay. And I kind of gave up on the physical release for it. But all of a sudden, I was going through Amazon and it said it was in stock, and I picked it up immediately. This feels like a complete fighting game. Yeah, it looks like Pocket Fighter, which I'm totally fine with, but it gives you all the extras. Well, I shouldn't say extras, but all the essential stuff you need with a fighting game: arcade mode, online mode, training mode, tutorial mode, extras, shop, all that stuff. I mean, games like Blazing Strike, they could have learned a lot from this one from the initial release, because that game was bare bones when it came out and had a lot of problems with it. But this one feels fleshed out. It feels like it's ready, and I'm happy it's finally here. So if you see this one out there, or if you like fighting games, I would say definitely pick this one up. You will not regret it.
Refletora.
Here's Golden Force. I talked about this game briefly on my channel a couple years back, and I wanted to kind of talk about it again because a lot of people should know about this game. This is an action platform beat 'em up, kind of reminiscent to the old school, like a 16-bit era, I would say. Now, this game has a lot of great ideas, but unfortunately, if you play solo, it's kind of tough. It's still fun, but I just wish that they would have implemented what I always talk about: online play. Now, you can do that shared play stuff, but you gotta have pristine connection for it to work properly. But anyways, definitely a fun game. As you can see here, I would say you guys should definitely check it out. Now here's another action platformer, Tanuki Justice. This game reminds me of this game I played back in the day called Kid Nicky. It was this, man, just so nostalgic to that game. I feel like this game is kind of like a montage to that game. But anyways, this is a co-op platform game. A lot of fun, a lot of action going on. It has a lot of things going for it. It has a very arcade feel to it as well. So you fight mini bosses during the levels and stuff like that, and then of course you fight the main boss at the end of the level. The game is not like too difficult, but it's not gonna hold your hand either. So it's definitely for the old school platform lovers out there. My buddy Jason actually played this, and he beat the game over the span of 2 days on a live stream, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, definitely one that I'm happy to have. Here's Rayu Part 2 for the Switch. Now, the original game came out on SNK arcades, and then it got ported to the AES system, it says in 2016. So this is a action hack and slash game similar to games like Legend of Kage, Strider, maybe even Shinobi. So as you guys can see, it's a colorful looking game, looks pretty awesome. Cag swears this is like the best game since sliced bread, so I'm gonna take his word for it. But I heard the game was pretty tough on its release, but they patched some things out of it, or they fixed some things, and it plays a lot better from what I'm told. So definitely looking forward to playing this one. I love the arcade look of it, and when I say arcade look, I mean the 2D look of it. I love the sprite work that they put into this game, so definitely something I'm looking forward to playing. Here's Wleakia, Reign of Dracula for the PlayStation 4 system. This game really feels like a throwback to the old school Castlevania games. Not the Metroidvania ones, but the more level-based ones. I would say this game is more of a run and gun type because of your main weapon is a bow and arrow, which you get upgrades with. You also have a side weapon, which is a sword. I feel like this game more focuses on like range combat, but if you're good enough, you can use a sword to deflect attacks and get close to enemies, of course, or just use it as a last resort. But depending on how skilled you are, that's going to be how effective that weapon is for you. You can tell that the people that created this game are big fans of the Castlevania series. It has an awesome soundtrack, and each level has a cool boss fight. It has little story tidbits too that kind of like help the story along as well. So definitely, if you're a Castlevania fan, definitely pick this one up.
I'll have you in pieces!
Here's Bang Bang Busters for the Sega Dreamcast. Now, I talked about this game years ago, and the game I think it originally came out in 2010, but I feel like it came out before that time. But this is a platform arcade game where you clear out enemies on the screen, very similar to games like Bubble Bobble, Snow Bros, and other games like that, I would say. I feel, after playing this game and beating it, it is a true hidden gem. You know, not a lot of people know about it, and for good reason. It's only on certain consoles. It's on the Dreamcast, Neo Geo CD, Neo Geo AES, and MVS, I believe, as well. So a lot of people didn't really know about this one, but hopefully this game will get a more, I would say, modern release, maybe on like current consoles, even as a digital download, so people could find out about it, because I think it's a really good game. Now, it's not a long game if you know what you're doing. It probably take you about, like, I would say 40 minutes to beat the game if you know what you're doing, if you play properly. Because you got to remember, it is an arcade type game, and those are kind of meant to be short and sweet. So definitely just have that in mind. But also, too, the game is nice to look at. It has good music. It controls well, and it's a lot of fun. Though very short if you get through, if you know how to play the game. More than likely, most of you guys will probably pick up the Dreamcast version. So, yeah, I would say that's the more common version of the game to get, especially for the price it's going for. But anyways, guys, check this one out and let me know what you think about it. Here's Lost Terminal for the Game Boy. Nice to get a new Game Boy game, even though I wish it was a color version. But anyways, getting past that, this is a run game where you just kind of like control where you duck and jump and shoot fireballs, things like that. You know, the beginning is pretty, tutorial, I would say. You know, I'd rather just let these games like just go or whatever like that, let you learn on your own. But still, pretty solid game. It gets pretty cool like later in the game too, when you get to different parts. Like there's a swimming part in the game that's really nice. But other than that, definitely check this game out if you like these type of games. If not, there's something wrong with you. Here is Guns of Mercy. Now, I talked about this game on my channel a long time ago, and a lot of people still don't know about it. This is a gallery arcade shooter where you clear out the screen of enemies, but you can play up to 4 players on this game. Things can get pretty hectic on screen, but in a good way. Here's Guns and Runs. This is a run and gun shooter game where you get to play as 4 different characters with other characters to be unlocked as you play through the game. But what I like about this game is that it takes off from the start. You know, no crazy story bits that you have to go through and everything like that. It gives you a little bit of dialogue, a little bit of story, and boom, you're into the gameplay. And the first level will teach you how to play the game. You'll get used to the controls, the dodge dash mechanic, which I call it. And pretty much with that mechanic, you could dodge through enemy attacks and dodge into like other platforms. The whole mechanic of using the dodge move is great, but you can't overuse it because that would pretty much break the game. So there's a limit on how you could use it. But definitely a cool mechanic in the game. And then of course you get your guns and everything like that, upgrades, things like that. There's something about this game that just kept me like going on, even though I thought I was going to stop playing. You know, I was just compelled to try to get further. And a cool point I want to mention is that when you get killed in this game, when you lose all your health, you get to start off at the area prior to where you died at. So you'll start off in this little room, and once you go to the other room, you'll pretty much be in the area where you died at. So the pacing in this game is perfect. One thing I hate about platform games, and maybe this is because I've gotten older or whatever like that, maybe my skills aren't the same, but man, starting back all over at the beginning of a level is so annoying. And, you know, depending on what type of game it is, usually, you know, I'll probably put the controller down because it kills pacing. But thankfully, this game keeps the action flowing, and that's what I mostly like about it. Now, you do have boss battles. In each level you're in, you'll face 2 bosses. You'll face like a kind of like a mini boss, then you'll face the main boss. I think the ideas for the bosses are well done. They're very fun to fight. I struggled a little bit, but kind of like using the special attack, which I haven't mentioned yet. Each character has their own special attack, and it's usually tied to a certain element. Once I got used to a certain boss's patterns, you know, I did really well, especially using the attack to kind of like put the icing on the cake. But from what you guys are saying here, let me know if you guys will be interested in this game in the comments section. Angeldas Part 2. Yes, they finally made a sequel to this forgotten gem. Played the first game years ago. Thought it was pretty decent, but the second game blows it out of the water. Now, I think this game will make you a fan of horizontal shooters. You know, I feel like vertical ones are where it's at for me, but this horizontal shooter is pretty awesome. It has a lot going for it with upgrades, weapons, speed, bosses. Anything a shoot 'em up fan can ask for, this game has it. So definitely keep your eye out for this one. It's available pretty much on all systems, even the 3DS still. Here's Demon's Astroborg. Hopefully I pronounced that right. But this game, total surprise. I remember seeing the Kickstarter for this game on Genesis, and I didn't really pay too much attention to it because I think I saw it was sold out. But now I see it's gotten ported pretty much on every modern console, and I tried it out. And this is a really cool adventure game. I thought it was going to be just a straight through like side scroller, but it's actually a lot more than that. I guess you could kind of like somewhat, I don't want to use that Metroidvania theme, but the game is awesome in its own right, I would say, but you just got to pay attention to like certain things like finding keys so you don't get stuck later in the game, like trying to open a door and you have to go all the way back. So I couldn't see certain parts on the beginning of the game, but once I kind of like put my glasses on, I was able to see clearly and make sure I got the items I needed to proceed. This is a fun one, and if you're into Genesis games, this is like right up your alley. From the graphics and the sound, I mean, they got it down. Like, I don't know how to say this, man, but the company Josh Prod, the developer Josh Prod and Pixel Heart, they really know how to make some solid games. I've been pretty impressed with their progress so far with their library. So definitely check them out, guys. Pixel Heart, they put out all kind of titles. You definitely keep your eye out on this company, especially if you're into the old school. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I will have links in the description on where you can find the physical versions of these games. Some are in America and some are in PAL territories, so I'll have the links to both stores. But anyways guys, definitely keep your eye on Pixel Heart. They put out some quality product and I want to get the word out about this company. That's all I got, and I will see you all later.